ladies and gentlemen. This is a way too early football show. It's so early, but the draft hasn't even happened yet. So we have no idea where our teams are actually going to be like. We're only just going to, just talk and hope for the best. And why we secretly hope that our teams are good. I guess the word is that the word, Rodney? Good.
We secretly hope that the Steelers draft another busted quarterback.
Yes. Well, yeah. That I think that's a guarantee. I think that's pretty much a guarantee.
Because Will Howard ain't it.
Yeah. No. My division's evil. I don't know who's going to win my division.
The Bears are.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but y'all got to figure out your coordinators first.
Listen, I'm actually not even talking about my team. I hope my team makes the playoffs. I don't know if that's happened next year or not. Because I think the division, all four teams are good. Minnesota is quietly really, really good, and their quarterback isn't what they was last year. It wasn't 9. They actually have at least he's a good team.
Well, I secretly root for the Vikings for one reason. The Mike linebacker on Minnesota's defense went to my high school, Calvin Pace Jr.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes,
really cool.
So I remember seeing him when he was a fat freshman starting varsity.
Nice.
Yeah, his brother was all everything, and he was 2 years behind him, and he was his brother. I can't remember his brother's name. It was Ivan and Calvin. Ivan Pace. Funny story, real quick. Ivan Pace's father, Ivan Pace Sr., played for Coleraine. Okay, my high school, the Coleraine Cardinals, in Cincinnati, Ohio. He was on a team that went 14-0, and made it to the state championship game. When they discovered that Ivan had been ineligible because he had repeated the 8th grade at a different elementary school and they weren't aware of it.
Oh.
So as soon as they found out, they turned themselves in, thinking that if they turned themselves in, they'd fall under the mercy of the Ohio High School Athletic Association, which wasn't going to happen because it's all ran by people from a certain group of high schools,
Yeah.
And of course, they immediately disqualified them.
Of course they did.
So that was 1994.
Wow.
95. Okay.
I was still in elementary school at that point in time. Still there.
Okay. Well, in 2004-05, they won the state championship and they set every record you could imagine: most points scored, widest margin of victory, most yards per carry, everything. All the records, they broke them. And beat Canfield, or it's Canton. Canton Bulldogs beat them 51-10.
Jeez.
And a generation later, Calvin's sons grew up and became monsters and started playing for the football team. And they both went to the state title game against Cleveland St. Edwards, and they ended up losing the game. But so Calvin Pace ended up playing all 4 years at UC, played for a national title against Alabama, and then got drafted by the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, so long family history of dominant physical specimens. Yes, very, very athletic family, we'll say.
Yes, scary athletic. No, like I think the Vikings might be the sneaky ones in the division. I can see a world, and I hate to say it, Detroit and Green Bay are not in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't. Hang on, I'm going to bump my seat up a little bit.
No worries.
I just don't know what to expect with Green Bay. I mean, and I kind of feel that way with Detroit. I mean,
yeah,
does he swing and miss on his coordinators like he did last year, or is he gonna find better ones? We're talking about Dan Campbell.
yes.
You know, and then with Green Bay, you just don't know because they're always good.
Oh yeah,
they're always playoff cannon fodder.
Well, so here's the thing. I think Chicago's going to come down to earth a little bit. I'm not going to say much because they're a good team. Like they're not. I'm not like as much as I hate to admit it, they actually are a really good team, right? But I don't know if they go have quite the same record. I think it's going to be a little bit more like 12 or 11 wins. What's interesting to me about the North is there's an argument that all 4 teams are really good. There's an argument that 2 teams, that Chicago's the only really good team, and the other 3 have potential. Right? Not the way the needs to be better than the one dimension. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs is going to wreck the league next year. Like he's going to, he's going to destroy the league. But if Detroit doesn't have anything to go with him, they're a 9-8 team again. That's what they are. Right. So I don't know what Detroit's like. Detroit on the offense doesn't worry me so much. It's the defense. But we'll see. Like fingers crossed. Also, the other aspect I have to consider too is, the best quarterback in the league might be Chicago in that division, Chicago. In which case, it's going to be Chicago's division for the next few years, regardless of what Detroit does. And I say this with tears in my eyes, little tears in my eyes when I say that, but it's just that's the way I see it. Now, drafting, depending on what they draft, Detroit generally drafts really well. Like they do draft really well, so I'm not worried about that end. We will see what they do in terms of their offensive identity. If they have a good offensive identity, they could get back into the playoffs. But like I said, Minnesota cannot be. The Vikings can't be discounted. Green Bay is in a weird spot where I actually think they need to fall. And Chicago, while I don't think is going to quite have as many wins, I think they could still very easily win the division. And that's kind of what I see right now. Yeah. That's me. I say this with tears in my eyes because I actually would almost rather Green Bay than Chicago win the division. But I think Chicago's winning that division. So, but
I think it's fun. It's kind of like it's a good thing for the league when the New York Knicks are good because playoff basketball at Madison Square Garden, you just can't beat it. And I feel the same way with the
Bears.
Soldier Field in February is. I want to see that game in the snow last year again this year. At playoff games in the snow, I'm all for it. I'm there. Sign me up.
So, you and I got to do a football game. One of these, we got to do. How aware of what are you? What happened to me in Mexico?
I don't know anything.
I got robbed in Mexico.
I know you got a bunch of stuff stolen. Yeah.
Yeah. I got chased down by a dude with a machete. I got so many cool little stories.
Machete.
Yeah.
Can that be your new nickname?
If you want to, yes.
Machete Pants. Machete Pants.
That's right. Machete Pants, ladies and gentlemen, is my new football name. But I say all that to say that with the way things have gone. So I'm changing up how I'm doing it. My next trip. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm working the summer. I got the summer job figured out. I want to work somewhere in the fall. Now I can work in the States. I might actually head stateside for the winter, and if I do, a couple of arrangement me come visit it. I legitimately, and I feel like before I go back on the road again, I kind of feel like I need to do a little bit of paying it forward. I definitely want to see you guys and thank you for everything. Like you guys helped me a lot. I didn't have to, and I want one return in the winter, but it's something I'm planning on doing.
Okay, that's we'll be here.
Yeah. Just like before I go to my next crazy trip, which will be I'm finishing Central America, South America. Dude,
Nice.
the food was awesome. The food was amazing. I saw so much pretty, like not just women, but like scenery. It was great. It was an amazing experience, and
I will say this. I'm going to interrupt you because this has been a criticism I've had of your journeys. You don't take enough pictures, dude.
yeah. I do. No, I took a lot of pictures. I took a lot of
Well,
pictures.
then you need to start posting them, fool. Come on.
I'm sorry. I tried. I did a lot more actually on this trip. Like, oh, wait till you see the double rainbow I got in Belize. Like I have
I think
literally
I
a,
did see that. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
I did see.
that was wow. That was just an incredible part of it. Now, part of the trip I didn't take pictures of was because I ended up in the United States homeless stuff. Like I did in Phoenix and I did Vegas. So I couldn't take a lot of pictures during that time, which sucked.
Right.
But just where I was. But the like going through all of that, um, dude, I still love people, and considering what just happened in Canada, I might want to disappear for a while, kind of see. So kind of see. So when it's all said and done, but no, like I enjoy. It was a good experience, even though it didn't go as well as the last one did. So I will
Right.
take more pictures. I promise you, like there are more. It took a lot. It just I had to stop. I had to stop a little bit. I'm sorry, but I actually today I did a 20-kilometer walk because I wanted to check out the new bridge in Detroit. I'm in Windsor right now, so Detroit.
Okay.
The new bridge. It's pretty. It'd be amazing when it starts going. Whenever it starts going, truck. But
Is there a new bridge from Windsor to Detroit?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They actually built up. It's a rocking, creaking thing the Ambassador Bridge has. It's a brand new bridge. Looks great,
Okay.
and you can actually they actually have a built-in sidewalk. That's cool. Yeah.
They finally started building the bridge here, the new bridge going over the Ohio.
Oh, very
Yeah.
very cool. All
Of course,
right.
that
So
won't
do
be
we
the
dare talk? Yeah. Well, you know how those things go. So dare I ask? Do we want to talk angles?
Sure.
What do you think?
Sure. Um, I think that they have done more than I thought they would do to try to retool the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, other than getting tight ends that can stay healthy, I think their offense is okay. Although, well, I take that back. I think they need a running back that's bigger than Chase Brown.
Mm-hmm.
They keep shoving Chase Brown down our throats like he's, Gibbs or somebody, and it drives me nuts because I think he's very undersized. And every series, the first play, running right up the middle for no gain. It drives me fucking insane. Now there's rumor that they're going to draft Jeremiah Love out of Notre Dame, which Love's not going to last to the 10th pick. And I would be furious if that happened because we need defense. The person that I would like to see us get is Reuben Baines Jr. from Miami,
Yes.
but I think he's going to be gone. I think he's going to the. I almost said the Redskins. He's going to be knocking down planes in D.C. for the Commanders, the 7th pick.
So I think this is my hot take. I think your division is going to be the weak one.
Yeah.
I think your division is going to be the weak one. I think there's an argument I think for all 4 teams sucking, right? And I actually kind of feel that that's the way it's going to go this year for you.
Yeah, Baltimore's going to be interesting because everything's new. And when's the last time that happened?
Yes.
um, Jesus, a generation ago. Um, Cleveland's terrible. They're going to try to throw out Deshaun Watson, which is going to be a nightmare. Um, Pittsburgh can't get out of their own way.
Yes. And your team has no defense to speak of.
Right.
Yeah.
So, does the great experiment work? Have they done enough? They spend a lot of money, but the Bengals always spend money, but they don't typically spend money on the right people. They spend money on people that nobody else want. Um, so we'll see. They can't be any worse than they were last year. You know,
Famous last words there. Yeah. Famous last words.
they were last in everything, so you can't get worse than that.
Like I said, I show up to your house during football season and they suck. I'll buy you drinks. Like, here you go, buddy. Cheers to
Well, and the biggest caveat with the Bengals is whether or not Burrow is going to be healthy all year long.
Well, so here's the thing. Do you think he leaves at the end of the next contract?
Yes, I do, but I think they're gonna put him through hell,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna end ugly, just like it did with Carson Palmer and Boomer Esiason. It's people that aren't from Cincinnati don't know. Carson Palmer just quit. He said,
Mm-hmm.
"I'm done." You know, Boomer Esiason went to Paul Brown then when Paul was still alive and said, "Please trade me." And he said, I'll make you a deal. You stay for the rest of this year, and I'll trade you at the end of the season, wherever you want to go. And he listed 3 teams he did not want to be traded to: the Jets, somebody else, and somebody else. And they traded him to the Jets
Mm-hmm.
because that's just how Paul was. As great of a innovator as Paul was, you know, building and creating the game. Um, I don't know. I have a different perspective of him because I live in Cincinnati and I've lived it for 50 years. Um, just infuriating. But yeah, I think it's going to end very ugly. Cincinnati has a tendency of um, discarding their superstars and finding reasons to build a fervor behind kicking them out of town
Mm-hmm.
and cheering them on their way out, and then embracing them 20 years later and bringing them back and retiring their jersey and blah 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 and all that bullshit, putting them in the Ring of Honor and all that stuff. But perfect example, when Boomer Esiason was inducted into the Ring of Honor, they and I don't know if you remember this, was 3 years ago. Um, they wanted him to pay for his own ticket to fly to Cincinnati
That's very Bengals.
and pay for his own hotel room. And he called them out on social media and embarrassed them. And they only then did they send him a first class ticket and put him up in the what is it downtown? It's the Hyatt or the Westin,
Okay.
whatever. Yeah, they're just typical Bengals, you know. And I'm sure they treated the other people that were inducted on that weekend the same way. Just Boomer's got a mouth on him, you know, and which is why he was in radio for so long.
Well, yeah. That's the thing.
That's how the Bengals operate, you know.
Well, I mean, you always shame the rich guy. That's how you in situations like that. Always shame them. That's how they.
The sad thing with the Bengals is they don't have any shame. I think honestly, the only reason that they up this stuff is because Katie, the granddaughter who now runs everything, was embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think Mike gave a shit because Mike's the one who fucking stamped the, coach and Motel 7 voucher.
Fair enough. Wow. All right. Let's see. I think so. We talked your division. We talked my division. Where do you want to go? AFC or NFC?
Let's go to AFC West.
Okay. Chiefs are going to suck. The Chiefs are going to suck.
I don't think they're going to be as bad as people think they're going to be. I think they're going to be right around 500. Because I mean it is still Andy Reid. and I am very excited. I think Denver's going to run away with the division.
I think so too.
Well, Denver, I keep calling them San Diego. The Chargers are going to be interesting if everybody stays healthy. But the team that I'm interested to see is the Raiders.
The Raiders are going to be they're going to be good. I think the Raiders are going to be. I see. Here's where I disagree with you. I think the Chiefs are still going to suck next year. I
hope so. I hope so.
No. I think they're going to because I think they're still renailing the roster. Yes, they're going to have a run game.
Yeah.
But Mahomes, who knows what he's going to be like when he comes back? Yeah. I don't expect him to be. And even when he was good last year, they weren't great. I think they are the kind of team that will win against whatever tomato cans they fight, and then they play anybody good, they're going to get annihilated. That's what I think is going to happen to them.
No, I agree. And the thing about Mahomes, for as great as he has always been, if you think back on the last 10 years of their run, anytime they met a team with the same ferocity, he got the yips.
Yep.
And they got smacked around. I mean, the Bengals did it to him 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
So.
No, I don't. I think they're another. I honestly think they are 2 years before they're good again, minimum.
Yeah, I mean, it would be advantageous for them to suck and get a high draft pick next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
to rebuild that roster, and then, I mean, the Patriots, they went through about 10 years in between Super Bowl appearances. So I mean, it's ups and downs. The cycle is cyclical. Everything that's shitty gets good, and then it reverts back to shitty every 5 years.
Yeah. So the Raiders are going to beat the 500 team. That is my bet on the 500 team. Yeah. And I'm going to be very honest. I don't care about the Chargers.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. I don't, because this is the thing with them. Win a playoff game.
Yeah, I agree. As much as I love the Chargers, and I always have, they are the team that always finished 13-3 and 14-2, and went and got curb stomped in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, even back during the Don Coryell years, when we beat them to go to our first Super Bowl in '81, they were incredible all year long. And they came to Cincinnati during the Freezer Bowl and got bitch slapped.
Yeah. So I don't care about them until they win a playoff game. Right. Just don't care. I do not care. Denver is my pick to get out of the AFC.
Yeah, I don't like Denver. Denver has never been my cup of tea. I never liked John Elway. And the reasons are stupid, but it was cemented in my head as a young kid, so it stuck. But I just don't. Denver's kind of like the Montreal Expos of baseball. It's like, oh, really? They got a team? Or the Vancouver Grizzlies? It's like, oh yeah, they got a team. Not anymore, but yeah, it's just one of those. It's like that late Sunday game. The who gives a shit game between Denver and New Orleans. I'll pass. Let's watch a rerun of Star Wars or something.
But they were playing good. Honestly, if he doesn't get hurt, the quarterback, I think they go to the Super Bowl. They go to the Super Bowl. Yeah. Yeah. Because when I saw that happen, it was just like, oh, that sucks. But I also don't see them. I don't see them losing a step. They're still they are still a solid team. I mean, there's always a surprise. My money on the surprises is going to be somebody like Indy or Jacksonville, and I hate to say it because Jacksonville's my Denver team. They're the team I like. They're just going to get pile drive by somebody like that. That's how I view Jacksonville. But I mean, it's like you're not good. You haven't been really. You're a little overhyped, and you're going to get crushed by a real team unless it's the Chargers. They'll beat the Chargers, but that's about it.
Come back from 21 to the Chargers.
Yes, they did. They did. So
Yes.
so I mean, that Jacksonville's my Denver, but I do think the AFC South is going to be sneaky good. Something just tells me they're going to be sneaky good, and with and as far as the AFC East goes, I think New England comes down to earth a little bit, but I also feel like this is another hot take. I don't think Buffalo makes the playoffs this year.
I was just sitting here thinking now.
Yeah,
Something along that line. I think Josh's window is closed.
Yes.
And watching him play all last year proved that to me, because he played like a desperate man, because he knew that was his last shot. He did
for a while. For a while,
yeah, they don't have the horses this year. I don't believe they do. I do believe that New England will come down to earth a little bit, but I still think they'll win the division.
Yep.
The Jets are the Jets.
Actually, question: who's going to suck more, the Jets or the Dolphins?
The Jets.
Okay.
Yeah, because the Dolphins have ownership that actually they brought in people that actually care.
I agree. They're going to be bad this year, though. They're going to be bad this year.
I think they're going to be bad on purpose.
Yeah. Yep.
No, and that's different.
Yeah.
They're going to be bad on purpose with a purpose, as opposed to just sucking.
Yes, which the Jets just find ways to suck.
The Jets completely. Are the Jets. Yeah. But like the AFC South, I like Jacksonville. They've always kind of been like my stepchild team. I don't know why, but Houston, they got a tenacious defense. If Stroud ever reappeared, they would be dangerous. Indianapolis, I don't care. Indianapolis is another team that I just don't care about. And who's the other one?
Jesus, I can't remember. Indianapolis, Jacksonville.
Oh, Tennessee.
They're sneaky. They're sneaky. Here's my take on that division. If Stroud is half decent, I'm not even talking good, just half decent, it's Houston, Denver in the conference finals. Like,
something to think about is he lost his entire receiving core last year. Stroud did.
Yeah, he did. Oh no, it's fair, but I watched the Kansas City game, and I watched. No, who knocked them out of the playoffs? Who knocked them out of the playoffs last year? Oh, it was New England. It was New England that knocked them out.
Yeah.
I watched that game, and I'm sorry, I have Kansas City and New England almost like the same team in my brain. But that's okay. I think it's a dynasty thing. But anyways, they were better than New England, except for the quarterback. The quarterback gave New England chance after chance. And I don't care how good your defense is, you're going to get tired sooner or later. So all they need from him, this is actually all they need from him. Don't turn the ball over. If you don't turn the ball over, they will crush teams. That defense is terrifying. Even if all they did was get a run game, so like they draft a running back this year that could actually do something, right?
They released Mixon.
Yeah, but they got Knuckles from Detroit, not Gibbs, but the other guy. They got him in a trade. Montgomery. They have Montgomery now. So
really,
yes, they do. They have Montgomery. Yes,
that's a sneaky good move.
Yeah, no, it was a sneaky good move for both teams because Detroit doesn't need Montgomery anymore. Gibbs is just the man, and they got some stuff for him. So yeah, no. Montgomery is, like I said, all Houston needs is Stroud to be good enough to do play action. That's it. Yep. If they have that, Denver. That's Denver's competition. Like honestly, that's Denver's, because Houston had a better defense than they did last year. Like legit.
I mean, and they're going to be just as good this year. It's scary how good they are.
Yeah, and so like they might have so between those two teams, they have the best defense cores in the league. Both of those
Yeah.
two teams. They're
Yeah.
going to smash teams just on that alone. And the difference is Denver's quarterback doesn't screw it up. He's not necessarily the most prolific. They don't need him to be. They just need him to go, hey, just don't throw the ball to the other team on our 30-yard line. Just don't do that, and we'll win. That's it.
Is what's Denver's quarterback's name?
I can't remember.
Uh, shit.
Shit is
Anyway,
not that, folks.
when is he projected to start the season, or is he going to miss?
Yes, he is. No, he's projected to start.
Okay.
So he should be recovered by the. If he's not on week 1, he'll be week 2. Like he's not. He's projected to be fine by the start of the season. So they'll have him. And yeah, no, I think it's Denver and Houston are the best 2 teams in the AFC.
Yeah, I gotta agree.
Yeah, and I think New England's third. I think New England's still a decent team. I just don't think they're quite as good as they were last year. That's all. I think they.
Yeah, he's either being second year.
Yeah.
Now here's another thing you have to consider with them. All the shit that's going on with him, Vrabel and Diana Rossini, the reporter.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard about any of this shit?
No.
He and her, now they're apparently they're both married. They were caught canoodling on one of the decks of some lodge somewhere up in the mountains. They both say that they were both there with friends. And they just happened to run into each other and they're buddies. But like they were seen in a cabana together, they were seen in a pool together, and they looked like more than just buddies. They behaved like more than just buddies. Let's put it that way. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how much happens with that. Now, being that he's with New England and Robert Kraft is, one of the gods on Mount Olympus, they'll probably be able to sweep it under the covers.
If anything, it might make Drake May a little bit more popular with people. It's like, hey man, like way to go. But anything, I don't know. Okay, NFC. Let's just get the joke division out of the way. Although I think the Giants might surprise a lot of people, I still think that's the weakest division, the NFC East.
Oh yeah, by far.
Yeah, Dallas sucks. I think Philadelphia's a little topsy-turvy, and I have no idea what to expect from the Commanders. I got nothing.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Yeah.
I think Dallas continues to be a dumpster fire. Philadelphia continues to fall apart from inside. The Giants.
I think
Harbaugh will turn that team around, but it's going to take him more than a year.
So here's my this is my thing. I think the Giants make the playoffs this year.
That wouldn't surprise.
But I also think that division, just the way it currently is, you can do it with 9-8. I'm not saying they're going to be a good team,
right?
But
I could see him sneaking in.
Yeah,
I could see him sneaking in.
The Giants. There's a lot to be optimistic about for them. So I will say, like, the Giants was the one bright spot in the NFC East. No idea of the other 3 teams. No, like none.
And the other thing that could be interesting with the Giants is what they do in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Do they pick a player to plug and play, or do they play for the future and trade that pick for future picks? Because next year's draft is supposed to be the best draft in like 10 years.
So here's the problem with the Giants. They're too good to tank. So I
Well,
mean,
I know that, but what I'm saying is, I'm saying that they trade their pick this year for more picks next year. So it doesn't matter what they do this year; they'll have additional picks next year because of the trade. Because they're top five. I think they pick fourth or fifth. If they trade out and pick up another first rounder and an additional second rounder, so they get two first rounders and a second rounder next year, then you're rebuilding a roster. Then you're making serious impacts.
I think if I were them, I would trade their first round pick for. I actually tend to go with Belichick's philosophy. If you're a good team, your first round pick doesn't matter. It's your second
Correct.
rounds and third rounds that
Right.
are really really good. Trade the first rounder for as many second rounders as you can get next year.
Right.
Honestly, you've got your quarterback. It looks like you've got your running back, even though he's a little crazy. So your offense looks fun. So basically now it's your offensive line because you got to protect that running back because God only knows he won't do it himself, and right and you need some kind of a defense court so that they can win. Like they're not far away actually, which is really interesting. All they
Yeah.
gotta do is kind of maintain their current course. I think what I'd do is I would ditch the first rounder for as many second rounders as possible. They don't need a first round pick next year. They
Yeah.
legit.
And with Harbaugh,
Yeah.
in that ship, and it's Harbaugh. It's not the general manager.
Mm-hmm.
Brighter days are ahead for them.
Yeah. Oh no, it's just that's what's going to happen there. So I think that, but I still think this year it's the weakest division, and I mean Washington could be a surprise shrug. Who knows what you're going to get there?
No, have any idea what to expect. I like them. I always root for them. I always have since I was a kid. But as long as they beat the Cowboys twice, I'm happy.
That's almost a guarantee actually this year. I think the Cowboys suck.
Yeah.
I actually feel a little sorry for Dak, a little bit.
I do too because
Yeah.
his career is being wasted in Dallas,
Mhm.
and I think that they're going to give all that money to Pickens, and he's going to turn into the rockhead he was in Pittsburgh,
Yep.
and it's going to be a disaster.
I still think Seattle's the team to beat in the NFC.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
They hadn't peaked yet. That wasn't their peak year.
No,
It's this year.
no,
It's this
yeah.
year.
This year and the Rams are still ascending. So
Seattle,
the Rams next year are going to be Seattle this year.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I see. I don't know. Stafford's old. See, I don't know what they got. See, yeah, no worries. I know. I see. The Rams basically proved my philosophy. The first round pick does not matter, everybody. It just really, really doesn't, because they don't. They haven't had a first round pick since they got Stafford, I think.
Yeah.
And so they don't need one. I mean, they're living proof you don't need a good first rounder.
Well, yeah. I mean, they trade first round potential for somebody that's a guarantee today.
Yeah.
That's how they won the Super Bowl against the Bengals.
Yes. Yeah. But I think the thing with them is Stafford is a good quarterback, and I think this year they're going to. The Rams to me have always been they are a great team that are always in the mix no matter what.
Yeah.
But they don't quite get there. And that's how I see them this year. They just don't quite get there.
No, I agree. I think it's Seattle's division to lose.
Yes. And
San Francisco is going to do what San Francisco does.
Get hurt.
They're going to get hurt. And New Orleans is unfortunately New Orleans.
Well, no, it's Arizona, but it's Arizona trade their quarterback away. Don't matter.
Unfortunately, Arizona is unfortunately owned by the Bidwells.
Yes.
So yeah, it's
they're done.
I mean, who's their quarterback?
They traded him to Minnesota, and now
Yeah,
now I'm terrified. I'm actually legit terrified because Minnesota might actually win that division now, because they weren't bad last year. They just had no quarterback. They just had no quarterback, and it was like you still did better than Detroit with no. Oh God, right? So it's like, and this year you look at what they've been doing. It's like you're scary, right?
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor is going to be the starting quarterback in Arizona. I mean, hey, at least he's a competent quarterback.
Well, no, he's just overmatched in that division. That division's evil. That division's evil.
That's just a cash cow for the Bidwell family. That's all it is. Just like the Bengals are for the Brown family.
Yep. So then we got the NFC South, which is New Orleans, and I can't remember anybody else on that team right now to save my life.
Tampa Bay.
Okay, they're interesting.
Yeah,
they're interesting. Oh, Carolina. Carolina's going to win that division.
Yeah. Who's the other team?
Carolina, New Orleans.
Houston.
No, Houston's an AFC. They're not NFC.
Oh, okay. New Orleans.
Tampa Bay. Carolina. I want to say a Georgia team. There is nothing there. It's not Tennessee. It's not Kentucky.
Who's that?
I don't know. I got to look this up. This is important, ladies and gentlemen. We forgot who the last NFC South team is.
Speaking of this, I was just on.
eBay. No, it's Atlanta. Atlanta doesn't matter. Atlanta doesn't matter.
And as the shoulda, woulda, coulda team. I was on eBay last night because I don't know about you, but when I was a little kid, we had all the magnets of baseball, of all the divisions, and we kept track of who was in what place all season long. So I found a set on eBay on Etsy actually last night. All 30 teams, little puffy magnets for like $17.99.
Nice.
I was like, okay, so I'm going to get those and put them on my refrigerator downstairs. I kind of want to do it with football teams too. But yeah, I don't know. Just a little aside.
Baseball is actually fun to watch now.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd say that, but that pitch clock was a brilliant idea. It made the game go faster.
And this year the challenges. You tap your head, challenge a pitch.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
really exposing a lot of the shitty umpires.
Well. Here's the thing. I came to this conclusion after watching baseball, football, and hockey. I'm a hockey guy. I like a good hockey game. Basketball sucks. I legit.
I got basketball on right now.
Yeah, but I realized it just because I figured this out. Because the NBA right now doesn't feel competitive. It just doesn't.
Yeah, then you're not paying attention. Because there are going to be matchups. There are going to be some matchups in both conferences. Right, or the middle of the pack games are going to be dogfights.
Yeah, I look. I love me the Pistons. I think the Pistons have been a really cool team this year.
Yeah, I do too.
Right, I love me the Pistons. I think San Antonio is got a generational talent. I think OKC is the best team in the NBA by a shot. Yeah. But I realized something so I have this story in my head about an actual story about the idea of a baseball ninja clan, and they're different entities. They have different areas with different sports teams. But I realized that the sport I'd make fun of would be basketball. All right, because footballs are tough guys. Baseball, although it's not the most physical contact, those guys do some really cool stuff. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like basketball. I think with all the load management, this is the thing. With all the load management, with all the, it seems like the lack of urgency. I think there's some good teams. There's always really good teams, but it feels like the urgency of the regular season doesn't exist anymore.
Well, I agree with that, and I my take on the basketball is they are too pampered.
Hmm.
Charles Barkley catches a lot of flack for saying how soft the players are, and I agree with him. They are soft.
Yeah.
I grew up in the 80s and the 90s when the Lakers and Celtics and the Michael had to get through the Pistons before he became Michael, and he got the shit knocked out of him by Lambeer and all those guys and Rodman and stuff before he was ended up in Chicago. And they beat the hell out of each other. It ain't like that anymore. Everything's patty cake now. And I agree. I think the load management thing is sucks. If you're healthy, you're playing. And I think they cater too much to the players. But when you get to this point, none of those teams are in it. I mean,
Yeah.
at the lower end of the playoffs, there are some of those teams. But like from six up, there's going to be some dogfights,
Oh yeah.
and
Oh
it'll be fun to watch.
yeah. I hope so because I realize like I've just been noticing this. Football is always good. Again, I'm a hockey guy. It's me. I know I'm Canadian. You got to right.
That's okay. I mean, I just hockey never resonated with me for
No,
whatever reason.
no, no, and that's hey.
Well, it's never on TV here,
No, it's
so
fair. That's
I
fair.
it just
No, no,
we had a hockey team in the '80s, in the '70s and '80s, but they left, and it was never a
no,
thing in
no,
Cincinnati.
yeah. And whereas here, I mean, I remember I got the Red Wings, the Maple Leafs, and the Maple Leafs suck, but that's another thing all the way around. But I mean, but the thing is, I just look at the effort that baseball does. I watched the Blue Jays Dodgers World Series. That was amazing. The
It was
only
an
thing that's
incredible World Series.
and the thing is, the only thing that really sucked about it, and it wasn't like in a bad way. Somebody had to lose.
Yeah,
Both of those teams. I mean, the last game, the amount of both teams pulled out all the stops. Like I did
yeah.
not feel like anyone choked. It was just somebody had to lose that game.
Somebody was
Yeah,
going to screw up and win that game.
yeah, exactly. And that's what happened.
Yeah,
And like I said, I don't feel bad about it. And I was rooting for the Jays. And
yeah.
right, and they might be back they might go back next year.
Yeah,
This
I
year,
was rooting for him too. I was really hoping they'd do it.
yeah. And the thing is, but you can see the effort there. Hockey, you see the effort there. Football, you definitely see the effort there.
Yeah.
Basketball, you don't always see the effort. And I think what it is, and this is just my own take on it. You do see it at this time of the year. You're right. You do, and there are teams that definitely show up to play every single night. Definitely.
Well,
But
okay. T- I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish your point.
yeah, right. There are definitely teams that do it. I just think like some of you said, like they've coddled them too much, and it's just left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, not just
Yeah.
mine,
Yeah.
right?
No, I
Just
agree. I agree. Me included.
yeah,
Uh, but I think the thing with basketball, and I've kind of noticed this over the last 2 years with the emergence of OKC and the way that they play, um, the hard effort within in the NBA is more nuanced
yeah,
because one, you really have to understand what's happening when you're watching the game. Okay, and you really have to because if you're not paying attention, you're not seeing the effort, especially on the defensive end.
hmm
And even during fast breaks, guys have to be in certain positions during a fast break, or the fast break is useless. And that comes with timing and practice and precision. The good teams do it very well. The teams that aren't efforting suck at it.
hmm
So I agree. I think they are incredible athletes. You have to be in tremendous shape to run up and down that court a
hmm
hundred times a night. But I think that they are incredibly pampered, um, and I think they make the young kids make way too much money to give a shit. Being honest,
hmm
baseball players, what league minimum 750 grand, and you see rookies out there, Jesus Christ, football, you don't make any real money till you're 5 years in, and they're out there knocking each other's teeth out. So yeah, I think there is a well earned stigma put on basketball players. And I think a lot of it's come from people of my generation because we watched football or base basketball when it was a dogfight. And we only get that, a third of the season, and
Yeah,
during the playoffs.
yeah, and that's the issue. It has like if it was if it like again looking back to that era, like I remember when the Toronto Raptors were first debuting as a team, like they're the first Canadian NBA team. They were playing Michael every night, like every year. They're playing against all the really good teams. Somewhere, I don't want to blame LeBron James for everything, but his era destroyed the effort. It was
Well,
his
that's
era.
the era of
No.
the G League, the implementation of the G League and NIL and all of that, which changed every sport in America. But when you're paying these AAU kids, I mean, I've seen it here locally in the on the high school level with my high school football team. All the good players are getting paid to go play for the Catholic teams across town because the Catholic teams have the money to pay them, and it's a leadership scholarship. Yeah, bullshit. But they've been doing that for generations,
Oh
and
yeah.
now it's legal. So we went from being perennial powerhouses to being in the Final Four, the Elite Eight of the state of Ohio, year after year after year for 30 years. To we haven't won a game. We won one game in 3 years.
Yeah.
And it sucks. Um, yeah, so all that stuff, you know, um, it makes an impact,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's more. It's made a huger impact in basketball because you see, and I don't Adam Silver. I think he's a horrible commissioner.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think he is too politically correct. He is too socially conscious of offending anybody, which drives me nuts. And he's too afraid to challenge the players. Um, um, his predecessor, I can't think of his name, Stern.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't put up with any bullshit, and the players feared him. Nobody fears Adam Silver. He's a joke, kind of like the commissioner in baseball. Um, but yeah, and it's going to take a lot of tweaking. I mean, the good teams are the good teams, and they're always going to be the good teams. They're the same team. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know but the difference in watching these games, like these last couple of games, where there's teams that are trying to beat a team to get into
The
the
play in.
sixth year. Yeah, the play-in. That's been good basketball. But like all the games that were on, like right now, San Antonio's playing Denver, but Wemby's not playing. So I mean, it's a close game. It's a 2-point game. Um, but that's not who wants to see that game without Wemby. It's like the Celtics played earlier today, and Tatum didn't play, Brown didn't play, White didn't play. It's like that's just not the Boston Celtics. It's the third string.
Yeah, I
So
mean, if it's the last game of the season, like I tend to like look at this. If it's the last game of the season, fine.
right,
Right. Right.
get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Fine. But I mean, this is happening game 6, game 12, and I'm like, why? Right. Right. Yeah.
I saw a thing today. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was being interviewed. I think it was Bob Costas that was interviewing him, and he asked him, in his opinion, they were talking about the GOAT. And they said, Michael, you, and LeBron. Who's the GOAT? And he said, well, he said, first and foremost, he said, I personally have to eliminate LeBron. He said, because to wear this jersey with the name Los Angeles Lakers across emblazoned across your chest, and to lay on the garden's floor, our tried and true hated enemy for decades, to lay on the floor in the garden and look up for a foul and cry to get a foul instead of standing your ground and manning up and delivering the heat instead of looking for sympathy and a call. He says, you don't deserve to be called a GOAT in any way, shape, or form in my book. He says, now you take Michael. Michael had to climb the mountain. He had to ascend to become the greatest. And once he ascended, and that took getting past Lambeer and getting past Rodman and getting past
Isaiah
Aguirre,
Thomas. Isaiah
yeah,
Thomas. They
Isaiah
all,
Thomas.
you had to deal
You know,
with Bird. You had to deal with Bird too.
yeah,
It was past his prime. Like Bird was Bird's play. Celtics were a real team. Bad Boy Pistons were real teams.
right. And
And
he had to conquer that. And once he did, he became the king of the mountain for 10 years. He had 10 scoring titles.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. The only team that escaped now is because he didn't play was Houston. Akeem Olajuwon. But
right?
who, in all fairness, this is my hot take. I think Olajuwon would have gotten one from Michael. I think he would have gotten one. I don't know if he would have gotten two. I wouldn't have gotten two.
We'll never know.
No, yeah, I know we won't. But that's my
We'll
take.
never know.
That's
Yeah,
my take. I do think
yeah.
Houston. I think the first year Houston got there, they were like wow. But
But yeah, I mean that's a microcosm of today's game.
yeah.
I really like OKC
Hmm.
because I see the effort and it's fun. And
Yeah,
they're so fast and they're so quick and they're so coordinated and they're
they're
so
they're
on.
they're athletic. And then the
And
thing is,
here's the thing that really makes me happy. Alex Caruso got kicked to the curb by LeBron James with the Lakers. Ended up playing with the Bulls for a year or two. Ended up on OKC and won a ring without LeBron.
yes.
And when he won his ring, he said, "I'm finally glad I got a real ring because that chunk that we won in 2020 wasn't a real ring."
Mhm.
And I agree. I think that was scripted to keep people occupied.
So
Um,
I'm in a weird spot about the 2020 NBA Finals because I also like here's this is what I will give LeBron. This is the only thing I okay. First off, it would not. I don't think the Lakers win that straight up if it's a regular season.
right, right,
I also don't think they win without that break. They got a big break, and again, wasn't their fault, but they got a big break.
yeah.
So I don't think they win. But I will say this: I can only imagine what playing in a bubble like that would actually be like. It wouldn't. It's not the same, but there is an odd. I could see the pressure break teams. All right, and I got to give him credit where credit's due. Um, he he won that. Now, do I think it's the best ring ever? No, but I also there's nothing. If you look at any content from that year, none of it's good. It's just we were doing whatever we could to stay a lot to keep things moving.
I think that, like many other things during COVID, was scripted,
Sure, that's fair.
and we'll leave it at that.
That's fair. That's all good. It's all good.
Take from that what you will, folks.
That no, hey, it's fair. So no, I'm watching. I'm watching what's going on up here, and I'm just like, uh,
Yeah, that's pretty
I, I
scary.
yeah, yeah. We legitimately have. We just watched. It looks like um, we're going to have a majority government without a vote for the first time ever.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, and like I really like, and I know there's going to be some Canadians listening to this. Like, look, I don't care if you like the guy. I don't care if you really hated the other guys. The lack of vote should bother you because it bothers me.
oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if it doesn't bother you, then
Yeah. Well,
you're
no.
you're stupid. I'm sorry, you're stupid.
Well, no. So I went across your country, quite a bit of it. I talked to a lot of people about the political situation in your country because let's be honest, yours isn't that great either.
Oh
But
no,
the
oh no.
but what I was really surprised about, and this is what I was really genuinely shocked about. You guys are very self aware of what's going on in your country. You just don't know what to do about it. That like literally, I was thinking
Well,
about that.
here's here's the thing,
Hmm.
and this has all been by design.
Mm-hmm.
People are too comfortable in this country to rise up
Mm-hmm.
because they like their Dunkin' Donuts in the morning. They like their air conditioning in the summer. They like their football in the fall. They like, going out on Friday night with their buddies and getting a beer and country line dancing. They've made it. They've they've created a prison without bars in this country, and the bars are our comforts,
Mm-hmm.
the things that we've come accustomed to, and we call it freedom. And it's not freedom. It's called invisible bars.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which is why, and they know this, which is why we'll never revolt. And with the advent of the pharmaceutical industry getting in on it and shoving all these pills down all these kids' throats because they've created all these symptoms, ADHD, anxiety, this and that. You know what anxiety was when I was in high school? Nerves, shy. I was too nervous to ask a girl out. I was too shy. It wasn't anxiety. It was being a pussy. Man up. Nowadays they put a label on it, and they put a label on you so they can give you a pill,
Mm-hmm.
and it's created a docile generation of kids. You can see it on the roads when you're driving. The young kids, 40 and under, they got no balls on the highway. They won't pass a semi. They won't speed up entering or exiting a highway. There's no aggression in them.
Mm-hmm.
They 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 are they allow themselves to be trampled on by anybody aggressive because they don't know how to handle aggressive people, because aggressive people are, they're fewer and far between, and again, that's by design. So it's all been happening over the
So,
last couple of generations, and it's all coming to a head.
well, to your point, to your point, it's the how to put this. I want like it's also common. I had this conversation with a gentleman in Belize. It's not a story. I'm not like he was from England. He was half my age, and we had a really interesting talk because I said you got to learn how to fight, and he hated that I used that particular word. I did it
Right,
on purpose because I knew it drove him crazy.
right,
But the idea I told him is like, okay, if you do not stand up for yourself, you will always be trampled on. His response though is, how do I do that? Who do I trample up? And the thing is, the guy, so another gentleman was there from Belize himself. And he was like, no, dude, you got to have a little bit of fuck the world in you. You need it because it's the only way. And this is something I learned. Like when I went and lived in your country the first time, and I lived in Arizona. Arizona is where I learned to be ruthless because I had to. Because if I didn't, I would have been run over.
right.
Right, you're right. I would. That's just the way it is. And it's again, I'm not saying be an asshole on purpose. That's not what we're saying here.
No, I mean,
But
have a
right,
spine.
right. Yeah, but you need a spine because the way the world is, if you don't know how to push back, no one's going to help you.
Right.
And that's something that um something that I've when I okay so when I was in the so it was really interesting because first it's the only time I was a little rattled was when I was in the homeless situation in Phoenix because I wasn't ready for it. It was something that were in that situation were coming from prison, coming from some really hard areas, trying to rebuild their lives. So
Right.
the level of aggression was even higher than I anticipated. Now, when I went to Vegas, I was ready for it. Right, I
Right.
was readier. For it. Never experienced anything like that. Some of that's also a little acclimation. What I will tell you is the aggressiveness you're talking about. It's there, but it's
Yeah.
not. It's not in the more sanitized parts of society at this point in time,
Right.
right?
Right.
But it is
It's
there.
not. It's not in the suburbs.
Yeah, yeah, it's not there, but it is
Right.
in other places. And one of the things like traveling the world, getting chased by a machete, getting held up. I actually literally got held up by a gun. Like I've been going through all this, and I ended up like again, you learn to fight or you get trampled on in the world, and that's just the way it is. And the moment you leave, so the United States is creature comfort, but you guys are overall self-aware. Canada is in denial.
Oh
We're
yeah.
younger. We're in denial
Yeah.
in comparison. So it's really weird having that. I've lost friends. I've lost friends, a lot of fellow Canadian people that support it because I'm pretty I'm pretty blunt about what I think. I just don't care. I'm okay being the villain. If I'm the villain in your story, I'm very okay with it at this point in
Right.
time.
Right. And
Uh,
I'm not allowed to say what I think.
yeah. So, but it's like one of those things where I just don't care, and it's been interesting to watch because I've seen we're a lot more, in some ways we're a lot more tribal than you guys are. You guys are very like you guys.
We're incredibly tribal.
No, but not compared to us. Compared to
Right.
us, we're not compared to us. You're not like you're a lot more. You're a lot more prone to hear people out, and that's something that like it's easier here because we're a lot more scattered than you guys are.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean you don't have tribalism there. You do. It's just not. It's a little bit more. I gotta listen to the other side because he's literally right beside me. Whereas
Right.
here, you'll find like Calgary, Alberta is like this isolated corner of the universe, and me being Windsor, Ontario is another corner of the universe, and it's still Canada,
Right.
right? So it's different here that way.
Yeah. I think in this country, I think the failure of late night talk shows is indicative of how where we are because everybody's tired of um, being fed propaganda.
Yeah,
Uh,
no,
everybody's tired of the fakeness of Hollywood, which is why the podcast world has exploded over the last since COVID.
hmm
I think people are craving authenticity. Um, me personally, there was something that I was looking for a long time in entertainment, um, and I found it in long form conversation podcasts.
hmm
Uh, and I love them. I mean, I listen to them all day long. I went from listening. I listen to a lot of. I watch a lot of Fox Sports, Sports Center and stuff in the morning. But like during the day, it's this podcast, not podcasts, and it's always stuff that it's informative about what's going on in the world, what's going on, and I mean, I have to be kind of aware what's going on in pop culture because of what I do.
sure,
Um, write and
yeah,
create comics. So I have to pay attention to all that. I have to watch those certain podcasts. But then I'm also watching, Joe Rogan. I'm watching um, who else? You know, you name it. I'm probably watching it. Both
yeah,
sides. You know, um, to get both points of view. And when you do that, you can, and you're capable of discerning fact from hype. It becomes very aware to you very quickly who's full of shit and who's propagating an agenda.
it's the thing about long form podcasts, why I've done them as long as I've done them, I just enjoy having real conversations because
Yeah,
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 right. I just enjoy it because I get a sense of who you are as a person, and that's like that's why like this is episode 1143. Like I've done a lot
right,
of these, right?
right. Oh, yeah.
And
I mean, we've been doing them since
yeah,
20.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. So I mean,
that's what I miss the most about my younger years is the friends from my youth. You know, we would sit around. If we had a party, we'd sit around till the sun came up. And we would have political conversations, ethical conversations, entertainment conversations, and we would yell and argue and disagree and this and that and the other. But when it was all said and done, we all went home friends, and we came back the next week or 2 weeks later, did it all over again. We
yeah,
all we were all still friends, and that doesn't happen anymore. Nobody gets together anymore. I'm constantly looking for somebody to go do something with, and nobody ever wants to do anything. I can't find anybody to go to the movies with. I can't find anybody to go hang out with because nobody wants to. And it's just like, what the fuck, man?
I
You know,
see.
I mean, I realize I'm older now and people have families and shit, but like nobody has any interest in getting together anymore.
That's well, it does exist, but where it does exist is in smaller communities.
Yeah.
Like yeah, that's where it exists. It doesn't exist in big cities. I left Calgary. I like honestly. Do you want to know why I've gone on this journey? I'm looking for a home,
Right.
but right. But the thing is, the reason why I did it was because I just came to the conclusion that nobody wanted to actually have a real conversation where I was anymore, and
Well,
I
yeah,
basically and and,
that's
and
the thing about the small groups.
yeah,
There's a small group 3 houses down the road, that I could go choose to be a part of, but all they talk about is each other.
yeah, exactly.
And it's 2 hours of venom. I have no interest in that. I don't care what the lady across the street is doing.
Yeah.
I don't want to participate in that. I want meet, like you said, meaningful conversation. I would rather sit in my basement and talk to you for an hour and a half about shit that we both care about and are passionate about,
Mhm.
because I get more out of that than I would talking to somebody in person about shit, mundane shit that doesn't matter.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's it. Like so for me, the big thing with me is me. That's why I went on this journey. And when I gone on this journey, cool thing. When I was in the rescue mission in Vegas, do you know what we talked about? These are criminals. These are addicts are coming out of things. These are families that are kind of like can't afford it. We were talking about how the Tower of Babel worked. We were talking about I taught a 5-year-old little girl how to play chess. Right?
Right.
I was doing Oh yeah, she was actually tougher than some of the people I played there. Some of them, some of the best chess players I ever played were in that rescue mission. Like really, like
Well,
really,
if you
really.
come if you come back down here and visit, you need to teach me how to play chess.
I will. No, no. I would totally teach you. I would totally
I
teach you.
kind of knew how to play 30 years ago, but I haven't played.
It's funny. I played chess a little bit. Right, but chess is actually the currency when I found it in the poorer areas. Like I played
Oh
it.
yeah,
I played it a bit in. I played it in Phoenix, but I really played it when I got to Vegas because the people I played against were really, really, really good. And I didn't win a lot of games. I'm being very honest with you, but I learned a lot, and I got a
yeah.
lot better as the week progressed because all I did was all we did was we played chess, we talked to each other, and it was a very simple way of being, and I enjoyed that a lot. So much so that when I go, you've seen some of the stuff I've been working on, right? Like some of it, right? And when I go back on tour, before I go back, I'm going to do at least promote some form of books somewhere or another. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to some of these areas I was to like pay it forward because I kind of feel I should. And before I go wherever I go next, and then what I'm going to do is if I do end up in the States, it's going to be a small community somewhere because I want to be around. I want to be around people. So right, and by the way, that might mean I go back to Guatemala. That might mean I go somewhere in Central America,
Did you
because
go to Costa Rica?
I didn't get that far. I didn't quite get that far.
Okay.
That's next time. It was just that's a long story for another day. I got redirected. I don't I don't know if you know what the concept of like a spiritual redirection, like just you're being led down a certain path, and
Right.
then right, and then you just have to kind of go with the flow. That kind of happened to me, and I one of the things I've learned to do, like doing what I've done, is you go with the flow. Like when you feel like the flow is making you go a certain way,
Oh yeah.
just go with it.
Yeah.
So I didn't get as far as I wanted to, but what I did see, like, dude, like, I man, it's almost like it's when I come back to here, or I come back and I talk to people about what I see and how I see the world now. People don't believe me. It's kind of
Right.
like one of those really like, but because but I
Those are the people that are living their lives through their computer screens and their phones.
yeah, or even yeah, because I'm staying with my grandmother in Windsor right now for another week or so, and then I'm heading to the job site I'm going to, and one of the things, one of the people again, I told some of the stories I saw, and it was like he wanted to disbelieve me, but he couldn't. It
Right.
was funny. It was really funny to watch that, and I realized, and was the realization I've had doing what I'm doing, because I've made such a conscious decision to go such a different route. I'm going to sound more unbelievable to people as time goes on, and I've come to terms with it. So, right,
Well,
right.
but that's the way people who have become worldly appear to other people because their their growth has been retarded by their situation, and you're going out, you're realize that you biologically you only had so many years where you're going to be able to physically do this, so you're doing it.
Yep.
um, so you're going to have those experiences to fall back on later in life, as you continue as a writer and doing whatever else you end up doing. You're going to have those experiences to, I mean, Jesus Christ, Ernest Hemingway had a lifetime of experiences to fall back on as a writer.
Mm-hmm.
People that sit in front of a keyboard their entire lives are staring at their phones and think that they have got the world figured out because they exist in echo chambers that confirm everything that they say is true, have no fucking idea what the world is about, and they never will
Mm-hmm.
because they lack any ambition, they lack any sense of adventure, they don't have a fucking spine, or they would do something else other than sit in front of a screen.
Now, what I will tell you though, this is the other thing I will tell you though. There are people in their 20s and stuff that do have a spine. Some of them do.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I met some of them that were down there. They were from here. Like I said, they were from here. They were from your neck of the woods. Like me doing what I'm doing isn't as uncommon as people realize. There's a quiet little exodus going around on in North America right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Right?
that's the one. Like when Sean and I went to Florida for MegaCon this year. Um, last year there was a lot of people that I met in passing that I didn't really wasn't really sure who they were. Well, I kind of knew who they were this year because I'd watched their podcasts and I interacted with them, so I was able to go, touch base with them person to person, face to face. And you're right, there are a lot of me's out there when I was 22.
Mm-hmm.
When I was 22, I was fearless.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't hold me down, and I couldn't. You would have never been able to convince me that I couldn't do anything. Um, and there are a lot of kids out there now, a lot of the younger kids out there now, pushing to try to work for the big two that have that fire, and it was nice to see.
Yeah.
Um, people always like the people at work. They still don't quite get what I do, and some of them laugh and make fun of did you cosplay? It's funny to them, and it's like you, you don't realize you think it's a vacation and it's not. It's
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
It's taking 7 suitcases between 2 people, loading them onto a plane, and I was going through excruciating sciatic episodes all weekend long. Just ask Sean; he'll tell you. And I muscled through it because I committed to going with him. I told him I'd help him do it, and it all happened 2 days before we were getting ready to leave. And it's just like Tina's like, "How are you going to get on a plane?" I was like, "I don't know, but I'm going to do it," and I did it. Um, but it's we didn't get in bed any night earlier than 12:30,
Mm-hmm.
and every night our goal was to be in bed by midnight, and we just couldn't do it because there was so much to do. I'm not talking about partying afterwards. I'm talking about prepping
Working. No, no,
all the day
working. Yeah, working.
and then getting up early enough to shit, shower, and shave, go find something to eat, get an Uber that's going to get you to the show. And getting to the show wasn't bad. Getting out of the show was a
Yeah.
night.
Hell on earth. Hell on
It
earth.
took us 2 hours and three canceled Ubers on Saturday night to get out of the convention area.
I believe it.
Uh,
I believe
so
it.
we Nothing was open except for Mellow Mushroom, which was right across the parking lot. We went in there.
Yep.
We were so exhausted. We ordered food. We ate half of what we ordered because we were so tired, and we went back. And of course, we had to pack everything because it was Saturday night. So you got to take everything to the convention center with you on Sunday. So the day still wasn't over, and we didn't get in bed till like 1:30. And up at 7. You
Yeah.
know, and it's work. And then you're on a con floor for 10 hours.
Yep.
So people have no idea the work that goes into going and doing these shows,
Mm-hmm. I
and
get to
hoping
go.
they can break even.
Well, I'm going to be doing that. Like next year, I'll be doing more shows. Like I'll still be traveling, but it's going to be a little different next year for me.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, I gotta say, like from my end, I really enjoyed the 2 years. I will do Make a Con again, but not as a backpacker because as a backpacker, it sucked. Right, it sucked.
Yeah.
It sucked. It was my least fit. Like Florida, like I've actually come to the conclusion I will only ever set foot in the state of Florida again if money's involved, and I'm
Right.
getting paid. And
Right.
because Florida was horrible for me, but I would like to try MegaCon again when I'm not doing the faith walk, for lack of a better term, what I was doing
Oh,
because
oh yeah. It was
it
rough.
was
You were. I felt bad for you. I couldn't do more than I did.
no. So it's all good. It wasn't meant to be a good time for me there. Now Anaheim, when I got to Anaheim, when I did WonderCon there, it was hilarious. I met a gentleman. I met Mog Park's husband. He went
Yeah.
to me. He went to me. You're my hero. And I go, why? Because I thought you were full of shit when you said what you were going to do. And then here you are doing it.
Yep. He's pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's really cool.
Mel is cool. Mel is cool. I won't deny it. It just, but like I said, like that was a hell of a compliment, right? Just because it was like, hey, we met you and holy crap, you literally did what you said you're going to do.
Yeah.
Like this year, I am going to have anywhere from 3 to 5 books ready to roll for next year. Because next year, I'm going to kill you all. I mean, it's just going for it.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm trying, but I can only do what other people on the team, allow me to do. And when other people don't do their part, I'm kind of
No. Hey, dude, I get it. But as for me, I'm just saying, fuck it. I'm doing it myself because
Yeah.
I've seen a lot, and I'm ready to share. And that's what's going to happen next year. But this year, I got to rebuild for next year. So that's
Right.
what I'm doing.
Well, if you ever need a mate to go on a con trip with you, you know who to call.
Oh no! Trust me.
I know how to sell books.
Yeah. Trust me when I tell you. And who knows? But just the way things have gone, it might be a book with both of our names on it somewhere in the not too distant future. Who knows?
Very well could be.
Yeah, you never know. Never know. I think we have an interview here, Mr. Rodney. What do you think?
I think you're right.
Yeah, you got a plug. You want to plug something?
At some point this year, we will have a issue. The next issue in the installment, we have switched up the title. It is no longer Roadkill Rampage. It is from the world of Roadkill Rampage, Road to Carnival.
Okay.
Next issue. I wrote it, and Chad Chodel was doing the artwork on it.
Oh, nice.
That's cool. He's a great dude. He just sent me 2 more pages yesterday. We had an ash can for Toledo, and sold out. Granted, it was only 25 copies, but still, it was 25 copies in a weekend is pretty impressive. So yeah, it was very well received. The hype was real, and actually, people that bought the ash can on Saturday came back and bought books on Sunday.
Yeah, I believe it.
And we sold all of our box sets. We don't have any more box sets. We're going to have to print new books to go to shows, and we're doing very, very limited shows this year. We're just doing Cincinnati at the end of the year. We're kind of I don't know exactly where we are. I'll just say that.
Well, yeah. Well, and as for me, I we'll talk about it off the air. I think we'll talk about this off the air. For everybody, anyway, this is Rodney Fyke, ladies and gentlemen. I always love having him. We almost forgot. So way too early. Who's the Super Bowl? Who wins it?
I'm going to say Seattle and Denver wins.
Damn it! You copied me. How dare you? How dare you? I'm going to say Seattle wins just because, but I do think it's going to be Seattle Denver.
Right. And as far as a plug, you can watch us every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern on the Throwdown. Myself, Chad Shoto, and Tuan Amato get on there and draw and talk all things nerd. So come get nerdy with us at 9 o'clock every Wednesday night.
Sounds cool. And anybody here, you can literally support this podcast on my Substack, joshpentelwrestlesop.com, with my guests like Rodney. And you can read about my world travels. Currently, I'm running about Playa del Carmen. Don't drink the water. That's all I'm going to say. Just don't drink the water. But for everybody watching, everybody listening, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Stay inspired. Keep shining in the dark. And I'll see you guys next time.